I think we're already running live. How is it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel Trendline Forex here with another live session. Okay, that's fine. I can hear myself, so I think the audio is good. Um, but yes, this is our second live session for this week. The next one is obviously going to be on Tuesday. I think I may do a US session on Tuesday. Maybe even next Thursday as well. Last time I did a US session, I think more people turned up, so I may start doing more US sessions if that's more convenient for you. But yeah, just like always, let me just send out a couple of messages here and there. Let people know that we're actually live. So the first message I'm gonna send over to is gonna be our free Telegram. By the way, if you haven't joined, make sure to do so. You know, everything that we do, you're gonna get updated in our free Telegram channel. Okay, so I'm just working on my other monitor right here if you're wondering what I'm doing. And then we're gonna go back to the charts, have a look at euro dollar, pound dollar. We're gonna have a look at gold as well. Right. And I'm gonna send a quick message on Twitter as well. Okay. And lastly, a message on Facebook. What is the date today? It's 3rd of July, isn't it? That's right. Okay. If you have any setups, any trades currently running, let me know in the chat box here. I can have a look at them and we can comment on those. If you're wondering about a certain setup, you don't know whether there's an actual setup or whatever it is, let me know, guys. You can also send me a direct message on Telegram as well. So I'm just gonna drop you the link here in the chat box on YouTube. If you want to send me some screenshots over, that's also totally fine. And this is how we can help more people. Whoever is joining in to watch this live session, they will benefit from that, from seeing other people's trades, where we can comment on those trades and we can share our point of view, right? So let me just grab the link very quick. This is where you can send me a direct message. So go ahead and do that if you currently have any trades or if you have any questions regarding trading. But it's probably best if you put those in the chat here on the YouTube stream. So anyways, let me just give it a couple of more minutes, see if more people are going to join in. But then we're going to have a look at euro dollar first, where I'm not really keen on entering any trades at the moment. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, we are trading around the 1.18 level. You probably already know what I think about euro dollar and how I'm going to proceed forward, because obviously we share an update on euro dollar on a daily basis in our free Telegram channel. So it's a completely free information. You don't even have to pay for the premium channel. and every single day you get an update on euro dollar and what are my setups for this instrument. But if you've missed it, I'm basically expecting that price will eventually continue higher. Before that though, it's kind of unpredictable because we've got the NFP coming out later. And for those of you who are just starting with trading, NFP usually comes non-farm payrolls, right? It usually comes out every first Friday of the new month. But because tomorrow is 4th of July, so it's obviously going to be a day off for the US market. That's why they've moved it to Thursday, which is basically today. So since we are expecting high impact news, um, it's probably best to not enter any trades before the news, right before the news, okay? So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you're actually going to listen to me, right? Because when you are a beginner, first you start trading, you don't even care about the economic calendar, you don't even care about the fundamentals, and you know um, being aware of when there are news, when you're supposed to be in a trade, when when you shouldn't be trading and stuff like that. All you care about is finding an entry and you know clicking that button on the mouse to enter that position. But this is not what professional trading is about. So that's why I'm telling you. We've got high impact news. Let me just double check, see what time of the day they're coming out. I'm going to tell you what London time, and then you convert it to whatever you are. Um, but let me just pull it up on the screen. It's probably easier so everybody can see. What is it? It's Thursday today, 3rd of July, and then um, we've got NFP coming out at 1:30 London time. All right, so 1:30 past lunchtime, and this is London time. So if you are wondering, currently it's 8:05 London time. Okay. But anyways, for those of you who just joined, like I said earlier, in this live session, as soon as it started, guys, send me over your charts, screenshots of your setups, of your trading ideas and stuff like that, and then I can put them on the screen, and then we can have a look at them. So this is going to be beneficial for other people that are watching the stream and maybe don't even know how to find a decent setup in the market. But anyways, let me carry on. So like I said, higher time frames, I'm expecting that price will eventually continue higher. Okay, we're currently trading around the 1.18 level. I think eventually we're going to reach 1.19. Okay, obviously 1.1850 first, and then we're going to be looking at just around the 1.19 level. Before that though, we may actually have some sort of a pullback. Okay, so maybe not that much of a pullback, but ideally I want to see price taking out this most recent low. If it does, then this is when we can potentially start observing price for a reversal signal. Now, am I going to be trading this move to the downside? Not really, because we are in an uptrend, and also we have NFP as well. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm mostly waiting for setups where I can enter a long position, not a short trade. Um, okay, moving on to pound dollar. See that the pound dollar is looking better because at least we have a pullback here. So automatically we already have a better risk to reward ratio, right? Here is the 4-hour time frame on pound dollar, and this is the 4-hour time frame on euro dollar. Okay, now anyways, because I'm only doing those live sessions for about an hour, I still want to give you a setup, if you wish, on the lower time frames. Now, if I'm expecting that we're maybe going to have a pullback to, let's say, roughly around 1.1720, 1.1710, if we managed to get that pullback. Of course, there are going to be opportunities on the lower time frames. They're just going to carry more risk because you're basically trading against the trend. Okay. So when it comes to pound dollar, I do like this rejection right here. That's probably the 38.2 level, right? So as you can see, we dipped below the 38.2 fib level, 1.3628, okay? And then we get this type of reversal right here on the 4-hour time frame. Pretty decent signal if you ask me, okay? But if there's going to be some sort of a pullback on euro dollar, then that most likely means we may see short-term bearish price action on pound dollar as well. I'm really curious what's going to happen during the NFP because it's not, most likely it's not going to reverse the whole trend, especially not on the majors, but is it going to give us some decent setups, potential entries before the end of the week? Because technically, I'm considering this maybe the end of the trading week. I mean, tomorrow we have the European session, but there's not going to be that much of a movement anyways. And then the US session comes, the market is going to be dead. So we're coming back on Monday, and there's not many times where I would enter a trade, let's say on Friday at the end of the week. If it is on the lower time frames, of course, yeah, because I'm basically closing those trades within 2-3 hours at most. Whereas if you are looking for swing trading opportunities, then that means you got to hold your trades over the weekend. Now, do you want to do that? It totally depends on your trading strategy, right? I don't really like to hold trades over the weekend, so that's why I'm probably not going to be looking for entries right now. But anyways, now here is gold. Gold is a little bit different because I think most of you guys are here because of gold anyways. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, this is what we talked in the premium channel. Price was literally just testing the 61.8 level right here. It was just about to retest. And if you look at the 1-hour time frame, at that time, we had a second rejection. So first, we had this 1-hour rejection. Price then dipped below that, slightly below, this rejection wick right here. And then we get another one of those long wicks to the downside. And then at the same time, you have a look at this on the 4-hour chart, and you have, again, yet another rejection right here as well. 3,250 tested, all right? Price not being able to break below that level, and it obviously meets support right here because a lot of buyers are entering the market to push price all the way back to manage to close this 4-hour candle as a bullish candle. At one point this candle was all the way down here, a bearish candle, right? So as soon as we saw that, and that we already tested the 61.8, we said that we're most likely going to see an upside momentum. And that's exactly what happened. As you can see, we also broke above this previous high right here. So this bullish price action is our signal for a potential reversal. So we then saw price continuing slightly higher. Now the thing is, as soon as we start forming up some pullbacks, I can then place the Fibonacci retracement right here. Let's say if the pullback begins at current price levels, okay, so we've already seen some bearish price action. We've got the Fib level, and then we've got the 38.2, which is this level right here, 3,320. And it also fits with the other 38.2 from the higher time frame, 3,325. Okay, so we've got a couple of levels right here aligned pretty much around the same level. So we've got this area, and this is what I would use as my entries. All right, I mean, this is not an entry signal, it's just an idea. Obviously, I'm not going to place a pending order and then just wait for price to complete my analysis. It doesn't work like this. I'm going to have to wait for price to come all the way down here, and then I'm going to observe price action for, you know, potential signals to the upside. And if I get one, then I'm probably going to be looking for entries. Now, this could also happen on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, even if we don't dip all the way down to the 3,320 level, for example, just a retest and a rejection at the previous lows here on the 15-minute time frame, this is still going to give me an entry signal. So if I have to be honest, if there is an entry that I would take today, it would be this one on gold. I'm probably not going to be on my computer though, because I have to, because I've got stuff to do, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to catch this, if it happens, of course. But let's see how it goes. You know, you can map this out on your chart and just follow price action and see what it does. Obviously, if we get a pullback here, that would be great. Now, what will happen if we get a pullback, but then we see price breaking below the 38.2 level? Well, then I'm going to be waiting for the 61.8, which in this case is right here, 3,292. All right, 3,290. So we could also drop down to the 61.8 and then maybe get that reversal. You know, I do like the price action on gold. It's and also considering that we did have some movement on the majors. Okay, so uh, whenever we had strong price action here on the majors, gold wasn't moving that much. Okay, and then you see euro dollar starting to trade around the same level, pretty much trading sideways in a range, and then gold starts moving. But with the help of NFP today, I think we're gonna have more active price action than what we've had before. What do you guys trade? Drop it in the comments in the chat box. Do you currently have any setups? Are you gonna hold any trades during NFP? Or are you gonna be looking for entries after the news? Actually, what about next week? Wait, I'm only going to be looking at the high impact news for next week. What about next week? Monday, not much going on. Tuesday, oh my god, this is going to be. Okay, on Wednesday we've got FOMC minutes, but then other than that, it's going to be a really quiet week, I feel like. From 6th to 12th of July. Okay, CPI on 15th of July. Um, then CPI for the British pound as well on 16th of July, Wednesday. Um, okay, employment rate, claim on count change, retail sales. Okay, so next week is going to be very quiet, but we're going to be setting up for the week afterwards. So 2 weeks from now, we're going to have some important news. Um, but yeah, first we need to focus on NFP today. Never hold open trades during such a major event. I think this is probably the best strategy. Really depends though. If you have, I don't have a set rule for this, but if I am looking for trades on the higher time frames, okay, so let's say if you've got a long-term trade on the line and then you're already running into some profit, I may close part of that position and let the rest run, see how it goes. But yes, ideally you don't want to be holding any trades over the weekend as well, or during news. Especially for trading the lower time frames, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You get slippage, you get uh, you know much more expensive spread, and if you have a tight stop loss, it doesn't make sense. So we see some momentum coming in here on pound dollar. Same thing on euro dollar. Now we may also have entries, potential entries on the yen cross pairs. So I forgot about that. You know, whenever you have some setups or you don't have any setups on the majors, you can also turn to the yen crosspairs. And I think I've said that many times before, but the thing is, I still need to see a pullback on the higher time frames. Otherwise, I do not want to enter a trade. You know, even if I'm trading the lower time frames, even if I'm looking for entries on the 15-minute chart, for example, I still need to see certain things on, let's say, the 1 or the 4-hour chart before I take that entry on the 15-minute time frame. So for example, I want to see price taking out that equal structure right here. Hi Balaji. Yeah, I'm just getting to pound yen right now. Um, so you know, when it comes to the yen cross pairs, same thing. Now during the news, if we see a bullish momentum, but then price closes down here, this is not going to be a good signal. Okay, but if that happens in the opposite direction, this is exactly what I need in order to enter a trade. So if let's say we take out this equal structure right here, but then we see a reversal or basically a momentum in the opposite direction, well then I'm going to be looking for a continuation to the upside. Okay, but anyways, for the euro yen, I think the 61.8 makes a lot of sense. 167.43, 167.40 roughly. All right, down here is where ideally we want to see euro yen. All right, let me move on to pound yen. So the pound yen has a bit more bearish momentum, and this is due to pound dollar. Okay, because we had this move here, that's why we have the move on pound yen as well. So the thing is, you know, should we enter any trades right now? Well, we just tested the 61.8, 195.80 roughly again. Okay, and to me this does not yet look like a good enough reversal, especially if I want to enter a trade, right? Now if you look at the 4-hour time frame, it's kind of okay, but we have a massive candle right here, a massive bearish candle, right? So do I want to go against this candle right away? Maybe I want some further confirmation. Now, you know, looking at the 15-minute chart, I don't really see strong momentum pushing price back to the upside. You know, when we're talking about strong momentum, obviously, we're talking about something like this. Okay, it doesn't have to be, but just look at this right here. This is when price is gaining momentum in a certain direction. You see many consecutive candles, either bearish or bullish. And we don't yet have this here, okay? So we did have some momentum for a little bit, but as you can see, immediately after that, price went back to pretty much wherever that momentum started at the same level. So this is actually not a good signal. You know, I'm just looking at price action in, I guess, more detail, but it's kind of like you start to recognize the patterns. You know, I've been looking at the charts since 2017, so that's quite some time. And there is that thing called intuition in trading as well. You shouldn't base your trades on intuition, obviously, but sometimes you just kind of know that it's not the right time to enter a trade. Now I may be wrong, but on the other side, I'm gonna be more mad at myself if I enter a trade which I'm not confident in. If I take a setup, if I enter a trade where I'm not, totally sure that a certain thing will happen, and then I lose, this is going to affect my psychology negatively in a much worse way than if, let's say, I am very confident about a certain setup, I enter a long trade, price goes in my favor, and it then takes me out. You know, if that happens and I was very confident in my setup and it was according to my plan, I'm totally fine with this. It's just a part of the game. But if I'm like, all right, I feel like this is going to go up, I don't really have my entry pattern, but do you know what? I don't want to miss that trade, so let me enter a trade here. And then price goes in my favor and it then takes me out. I'm going to be fuming. I'm probably going to say to myself, all right, I knew that I shouldn't enter that trade, so why did I do it? And you know, everybody goes through The point is that you recognize your mistakes and you don't get stuck in that phase of your trading journey, because it may take a long time to fix that. So pound yen, I don't even know if I gave you the answer, but I just sorry. A pound yen, I don't know. Currently testing the 61.8. I definitely don't want to go short, but I'm also expecting. So I'm not looking for any sell positions, but I'm also expecting that, if we're gonna have a little bit more of a bearish price action here on the majors, euro dollar and pound dollar, that probably means we're gonna have another dip here on pound yen as well. Now, I do not want to trade this bearish price action if we have one, but it's easy for me to stay away from the chart whenever something like this happens, because I know that this is only going to give me a better risk to reward ratio. Even on the 4 hour or the 1 hour time frame, if let's say we come down near, let's say, the 195 level, okay, now I may be looking for entries right here with a stop loss down here below this low. So I've got just that much of a stop loss for a potential gain only to previous highs, probably twice as much, if not more. Definitely more than twice as much. But I'm also expecting that if we see bullish price action, we're probably going to break above this previous high, and we're going to reach for higher levels as well. So right now, I don't want to enter any trades on pound yen. There's still about 3 hours till the news. I'm sure you can hold your emotions for a little bit longer. Do you currently have any trades on pound yen? No answer? So you want answers from me, you don't give me any answers though. Is that how we're gonna play? You guys are unfair. Okay, a long position. So where is your entry then? At what level did you enter your trade? Was it just, is it just a short-term position? I mean, did you enter recently, right in this move, or do you have your entry from any, or maybe from up here? Let me know what is your entry level and your stop loss level. Now, I hope you don't say you don't have any stop loss level. You know what? I'm still amazed by how many people are trading without stop losses. Back when I was starting, a lot of people were trading without stop losses, but I think history has taught us, I mean, history is teaching, because times and times again, people are getting in touch with us here at Trendline, asking us how to recover their accounts, and I look at their trades, they don't have stop losses on their trades. you know if you don't use a stop loss, it's I well, there are strategies where you don't have to use a stop loss, but I guess you're not going to be watching this stream if you are trading such a strategy, because that means you are very experienced. you know I know how to do it, but I never do it. I still use stop losses, even when I'm using the volatility expert advisor. So I talked about this before. Even when I'm using the algo to trade automatically, I still have a stop loss on all of my positions. So entry 196.20. Hold on a second. 196.20. All right. So did you actually enter a long trade inside of this candle, stop loss 195.50. 195.50. So you either had your stop loss at a lower level and then moved it to 195.50, or you didn't have a stop loss, and then as soon as you saw prices reversing and it's currently trading up here, then you place your stop loss. It's either one of those, right? Because if you enter 196.20 and you place your stop loss at 195.50, you should have been out of this trade as stop loss. So you either moved it at a higher level or you place your stop loss. Okay, you moved it. I understand. Yeah, you know what? If you're asking me whether you should keep your trade open, um, I mean, there's definitely a chance that we can see price pushing up to at least retest the previous highs. And if that happens at this point, I would definitely have moved my stop loss to break even. So no risk on this trade. Now, what should you do now? It's totally up to you. Do you have a rule for such a situation in your plan? Because if you really trust this setup, I guess you wouldn't have moved your stop loss at 195.20, because this is, let me see, was it, no, 195.50. Okay, because this is not even covering the wicks right here, if you know what I mean. Because so if you really trust this setup, your stop loss should be anywhere down here. Now, if you don't trust the setup, are you supposed to be in that trade at all? I don't know. But I'm not gonna lie, the 4 hour time frame, especially with the retest of the 61.8, okay, with those rejection wicks down here, price is now gaining momentum. It's looking bullish, I'm not gonna lie. I need to do some research to see how I can play some music on the background here. But I don't know. I don't want to get flagged on YouTube. So I'm not sure what kind of music I'm allowed to play. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Folks, please use the main chat so everybody um, is aware of the questions being addressed. Yeah, well, I don't get any questions outside of the main chat at the moment, by the way. Let me check Telegram, but I don't think so. Yeah, I ain't got any other questions. What do you guys think about the US session? I did a US session on Tuesday, 1:30 London time, or it was 1 o'clock London time, I'm not sure. And I felt like more people joined, and it was a little bit more active. Oh my god, silver. Ooh, silver is actually nice. Where do we get this momentum from? Yeah, just like, just like gold, I would expect overall a continuation of this uptrend, obviously, right? And it looks like we're now pushing up. So, we're breaking above this level. Ideally, I would love to see price coming back for a retest here. And if it does, then maybe a continuation, right? Yeah, silver is actually looking nice. I wasn't even paying attention to this instrument. I don't trade it. I only trade gold, pound dollar, maybe the pairs that you see right here. In the premium channel, obviously we go through each one of those pairs on my watch list. So more major instruments, more cross pairs that we look at. But when it comes to my own trading, I focus on pound dollar and gold. Also euro dollar, pound yen, euro yen potentially. But yeah, silver is nice. It's pushing very strong. I do like this type of price action. Now, at best, we don't want to see price breaking below this momentum because all of this strength that we see right now, which is confirming the trend once again, if price breaks below that, it's not going to look that good. I'm not saying we're going to have a trend reversal, but maybe it's going to take a little bit longer for price to eventually reverse back to the upside. Many times you're going to see gold setting up for a potential pullback and then it just continues. So in those cases, I don't get an entry. And this is according to my strategy, right? I know there are more aggressive traders who would give it a try and open a long trade here, expecting that gold may do something like this. And, they'll catch a trade. But for me, this doesn't really work because if I have to enter a trade now, a long trade, where do I place my stop loss, right? This stop loss right here is not good enough for me because I'm also expecting that we may have a pullback towards the 38.2. So where do I place my stop loss? Place it down here? It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? It's quite far. Place it in the middle? Same thing again. Why do I have to do this when I can just wait for price to bounce off and then I can use a more aggressive stop loss, which means a higher risk to reward ratio. It's as simple as that. Euro pound is another pair that we talked about in the premium telegram. I'm also expecting a reversal back to the downside. So I wanted to see, some signs of a bearish price action. And, you know, by the way it looks now, we may be, we may be looking at a reversal pretty soon. I'm basically expecting for price to reverse before it breaks above this previous high. So we are currently testing the previous daily highs right here. So I really want to see price action reversing, right? Euro pound is one of those really slow pairs. So whenever you have to wait for a setup, it just takes a long time. You really have to be very patient if you're going to be trading Euro pound. Do you guys have any other questions? I think I may end the session right here. There are pullbacks pending on all of the instruments I'm waiting for, so there's really no point for me to. So remember, gold is the one that I'm actually really waiting on. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the entry before the news. If I do, I'm not gonna enter anyway. But maybe with the help of the news, we're gonna see this dip and then a rejection as well. That could only be a week. All right. So if you're looking at the 1 hour time frame, during the news, we can see price pushing down, and within the same hour, we close back to the upside. So for me, this is gonna be a good enough entry. Um, then obviously tomorrow in the premium Telegram channel, again, we're gonna cover all of those instruments right here, and what happened during NFP with them, and what we can expect from those instruments after the news that we have today. So the real setups are going to be in the premium Telegram channel tomorrow. In the meantime, don't forget to check out our website, trendlineforex.com. We have blog articles which I regularly update. We do have some free trainings as well. We have a free course for beginners. What else do we have? We have how to get funded course completely for free. Okay, we have a full free course on how the volatility expert advisor works. So it's basically semi-automated trading. Tool that automatically enters your trades, and you can adjust it to perfectly fit your strategy. If you want to learn more about this tool and how you can use it, how you can improve your trading, then check out the course on volatility trading expert advisor. Like I said, completely for free. We also have other free courses as well. We've got a ton of educational content here on this YouTube channel, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so. There are live sessions like this every single week, twice a week, every Tuesday and every Thursday. Even though I'm gonna be away for about a week, in 2 weeks time, I believe. So this is when we may not do a live session, but you know, make sure to subscribe. There are more videos coming out. Follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, anything. All of the links are going to be in the description below this video. So I think I'm going to end it right here. It is what it is. I think we have a pretty decent setups, but we just got to be patient. Now, if you're looking for trades on the lower time frames, you have to decide, do you want to trade the pullbacks and trade against the trend, or do you want to be a little bit more patient and only find the highest probabilities in the market? Dollar Swiss, let me just have a look at this one. Dollars, I don't even have dollar Swiss on my, oh my god, let me that's fine, I'll just add it right now. Let me do 8 cup dollar Swiss. Trust me, I haven't opened this chart in definitely more than 2 years. I haven't looked at the chart on dollar Swiss. I gotta start from the monthly, literally. I haven't seen the chart on dollar Swiss. Oof. Okay, heavy that one. Okay, dollar Swiss 0.79. Take profit is 79.50. Stop loss 78.90. Okay, let me just have a look at more. Dollar Swiss. Right, 79.09. 79.51. Okay. $78.90. Um, it's, you know, it's not a trade that I would take, but I understand what you've done there. It's just so for so how do you get the take profit level 79.51? It's I'm just asking. I'll tell you why I'm asking is because it's not at the highs, those highs, and at the same time it's not at the previous highs either. It's literally in the middle of that. So how did you get the? Is it the Fibonacci? Let me try. Is it the expansion that? Opa. Okay, it's not that either. So okay, so how did you get the take profit level and also the stop loss level as well? So the stop loss is what, like 79.09, 78.90. What, like about 20 pips, is it? 79.09. 78.90. So I understand the stop loss covers, you know, this structure right here. Um 78.90. Let me see. Do you have a fib level right here? 78.90. So the 76.4. So it's below the 61.8. All right, I kind of get it. I'm just curious to see how you figured out that this is your target, 79.51. But you know, there's definitely a chance that yeah, it's not one of those trades where I would you know, enter such a trade, but maybe I can help you with. So when would you exit this trade? Let's say if price pulls back to your entry, are you gonna exit that trade or are you gonna keep it open? So this is what I think. If price comes back to the previous lows, that most likely means we're gonna see a breakout of this. Maybe then, you know, it can reverse back to the upside, but because we have some momentum happening right now here on the 5 minute time frame, if the market reverses that whole momentum, that probably means there's not enough strength for a continuation to the upside. So in this case, what I would do is I would exit my trade um, at break even. Then if you get another confirmation, you can enter again. Okay. All I'm saying is if price returns back to your entry level, it's probably best to close that trade and maybe look for re-entries if you get another confirmation. So hopefully that helps. But you know, it's I don't know. In my opinion, dollar Swiss or any Swiss franc pair is never a good idea. I don't really look. I don't trade Canadian dollar Canadian. I don't like this pair. Same thing with dollar Swiss. But yes, I mean, to be honest, I feel like there's gonna be another move to the downside here. So that's why I'm saying, if it goes back to your, if it comes back to your entry level, maybe exit our trade at break even so you don't lose, but then, you know, obviously you can re-enter again if there is a further confirmation. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end the session right here. I'll see you next time. Make sure to join in on Tuesday as well. In the meantime, join the free Telegram channel and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out all of the links in the description below this stream.